Guys, you are witnessing a rare occurrence in nature. I am finally reviewing a modern day game. It's still a superhero Marvel game, so who even cares anymore? But, yeah. If you can't already tell, turn down the volume. Sorry about that. This video is very poor quality already. I'm reviewing Spider-Man PS4. Now, I have been really wanting this game, and yeah, so far it's actually very, very good. I really like this game so far. So, I've taken upon myself to review it. We should probably start with the story, I guess. I haven't done one of these reviews in a long time, because all those other videos have been planned in advance. This one I'm recording pretty close to the actual release date, so yeah. The story is pretty good, and it actually gives me a feel of the comics, because it reminds me a lot of the comics, because everything ties together so nicely, and they still make references to the past missions that you've been doing. Everything just ties together nicely, and it's just really, really good. And without spoiling anything, I'm just saying it's a very good story. So, I do recommend playing the story mode in this game. And now we should talk about the gameplay. And the gameplay is super awesome. You basically get a bunch of attacks that you need to do, and you could do combos and stuff, and you could do a lot of things with it, and yeah. So the gameplay, for the most part, is very awesome, because all the fighting that you do just comes together so nicely, but I'm afraid that at some points it could be a little bit too good. And by that it means the controls are getting a little bit too sensitive, and they just are way too sensitive, and one little action that you do could affect so much, and it just gets very, very annoying when those moments happen. And since this is a Spider-Man game, of course it has to improve on the last features of it. And it does do that. For example, the swinging physics, one of my favorite parts of the game, except when it gets a little bit clunky and tries to be too realistic. Because sometimes in the previous games, it looked like you were swinging on nothing and it was just air. This one, they sort of try to fix that, but sometimes it just gets a little bit annoying. And I'm sorry to piss on everybody's parade, but I do have some gripes with the gameplay, which is all this stuff. So yeah, pretty much you go on missions that ties into the story of the game, which is 15 hours long, so you could get a lot of gameplay out of it. Yeah. Most of the gameplay for Spider-Man, when you're playing as Spider-Man, is very nice, and it's mostly fighting and like crime solving, where you have to look for stuff, find out how to get out of places. Those are some of the more calmer sections of the game, which I like. And yeah, the fighting sections are also very good, but yeah. And sometimes you do play as Peter Parker, and you do have just some more quieter moments where you just explore, look around, and those moments are also very good. But there is some problems with it. Hope nobody gets mad at me for this, but sometimes I find myself just being very confused as to what I'm supposed to do in certain parts of the game. Like, it just gets sort of confusing, and I just don't know what to do, and I have to look up YouTube tutorials, so that just gets very confusing, and yeah. Some of the boss fights in the game, don't get me wrong, they're pretty good, but most of them are pretty much just repeating the same action over and over again, and it could get pretty tiring. And guess what? When you die, you have to listen to all the same dialogue over and over again, and it is annoying. Sometimes I pretty much memorized exactly what they're gonna say, and I just, know it. I have to turn down the volume and stuff to make sure I don't hear it, and that gets very, very annoying. so I don't really like it when that happens. But for the most part, the gameplay is more better, you know, like those times when I was saying that I couldn't figure out what I'm supposed to do, that's not a lot of the game. But, you know, when it's open world, I feel like you're gonna have that problem of not knowing what to do. But I haven't heard anybody complain about it, so I don't really know what's going on. Maybe they're just too shy because they're afraid people get mad at them. Well, I'm not afraid of anything. I'm gonna tell everybody my true, honest opinion. Because this game, honestly, isn't that perfect. I mean, don't get me wrong. I still like it. I love it. It's actually my new favorite game. Yes, that's right. My new favorite game. Those are just some minor gripes that I had with it. Most of it is good. So, yeah. As you can see, I just completed a crime because this game doesn't only have missions. It also has a lot of side missions. And what that means is basically you just go around the town, and while you're on the way to go to a mission, you pretty much get to do these side missions which, you know, you get rewarded for. For example, you can stop crimes around the city and then get what's called crime tokens. And those are pretty good. They're pretty much just tokens of appreciation for all the side missions you've done. And there are actually quite a lot of side missions. Like, a lot of them. So, I'm not really a side mission kind of guy, so I don't like completing most of them. I just put it off to do some other day. But yeah, there is a lot of side missions in the game, which some of them are good and I like doing. Some of them are just kind of cool, you know, don't really add up to anything, but they're still cool. And some of them are just, you know, normal. And now, we should probably move on to the graphics. And they are amazing! I love these graphics. They look very realistic and it just looks so nice. Every single angle of it just looks amazing and it just looks good. Very nice to look at, and sometimes I just like to stand and admire the scenery, and yeah, it's just amazing the graphics that they put inside of this disc, because like it still blows my mind about how realistic this is, because I wouldn't even come close to making anything look this realistic in a video game. Yeah, so I really like it, basically. And also, there's just an annoying thing that I need to add to the gameplay. Some of these citizens are rude and just, they're so rude. And say, "Oh, Spider-Man, I hate Spider-Man." And it's annoying to talk to them because, like, I try to save their city, but, you know, they are just mean to me. And I don't like it when they are mean to me. So, what I like to do is, when they're being mean to me, I pretty much just throw things, because you can actually throw things inside the game, and they would react to it. And honestly, I know I'm a little bit of a meanie, but, you know, I think they deserve it a lot for what they said to me. Just saying. LOL. Yeah, so pretty much some of the side missions in the crimes are mostly just fighting these guys called the demons, which are more harder. But you can also fight, you know, normal thug robbery, which is what I prefer, because I end up dying a lot from those shield guys, which shield all of my attacks, and there's no way I could possibly beat them. Sorry guys, I tried, it's just impossible. I can't, I'm can't, man, I'm sorry. So, yeah guys, those were pretty much some of the important parts of the game, but there's a lot more. There are a lot of other features that you can do here. So, you pretty much get this overview of the map, which shows, like, for the side missions, they put these little things here, and it just shows where they are on the map so you can go to them. And it's pretty helpful for when I want to activate something or something. And you could actually unlock other suits, which I do like. And for some reason, people hate this suit. I don't know why people hate this so much. I actually think it looks kind of cool. I don't know why people hate it, but yeah, I also really like this one. As you can see, I haven't unlocked all of them, but, you know. I do like this suit feature because if you don't like this one, you could change it whenever you want. But, you know, come on. I don't get why people hate this so much. I think it looks good. And there are also gadgets you could have. These gadgets are pretty much things that enhance your webbing, and you can pretty much unlock them. Not unlock them, just... You could unlock them, but you activate them in battle, and they do help you a lot. Skills, this is pretty much just skills that you get from your mission, and I have 0% of all of them, because I hate them. And there are also missions. Yeah, missions. I love missions. You already know about this, because I already explained it. Collections. These are pretty much the amount of things that you collect inside the game. For example, the backpack side missions, pretty much you just get things from Peter's old backpacks from high school. And the resources, this is pretty much just the crime tokens like I mentioned earlier, which are for the side missions. Yeah, the JJ archives, yeah, pretty much just stuff you can collect. Benchmarks, this is the percentage of things that you have. I honestly don't know. Leave me alone. And this is quite a helpful part of the game. Well, not helpful, just kind of interesting. It pretty much shows you some of the characters, and it's nice to see some information about them. So, yeah. Moves list. Yeah, this is just the attacks. Who cares? DLC. These are pretty much some DLCs that you can get, and it's pretty much with a villain that you can do inside the game, but currently I'm just doing the main story, because I am awesome. So, yeah, guys. And don't worry, those side mission tokens aren't for nothing. They help you unlock stuff inside the game. We should also probably talk about the characters, because this game has those too. Now, I really like the way they handle the characters. It takes a break from the characters you'd expect to see and introduces some new ones and gives more time to ones you have seen but didn't get that much time to develop them. And, yeah, the two supporting characters that help Spidey most of the time are Miles Morales and Mary Jane Watson. Now, I think they're pretty good supporting casts, but some of their missions, they're not that good, because they're mostly just calm missions that you would get from, being Peter Parker normally. So I wish they could have a little bit more variety with those missions, like, some of the other ones. Also, I like the way they handled Peter Parker in this game, because in this game, he is more of an adult than a child, like they showed in past representations of the character. So I do really like that they're sort of trying some new things with the character, because in this game, he's 28. So I like that they're trying new things to, sort of make a difference. So yeah, guys, my final thoughts on the game are that it's a very, very good game. I really like what they did with what Insomniac did, and they certainly made up for the past crap that we got in the Amazing Spider-Man tie-in games. This one is definitely way better, and didn't have to be a movie tie-in. It could be its own thing on its own. So I like the way they handled this game, and I would rate it a 9 out of 10. I'll see you guys next time. I love you.